Welcome to Atlanta, center stage for the NCAA Women's National Championship, where once again, two Titans stand eye to eye. One with youthful exuberance, powered by a guard with savvy beyond her years. The other, a tower of success, steadied by a cornerstone of seniors. Hard work and dreams tested as only a title game should be. The best against the best.
Open wide. Your mind, your heart, your basketball-loving soul. You are almost there. Just stay open to all the cheers, jeers, and fears that have carried you to where you are today. Get open. Stay open.
When I step out on the court, I want to win.
We don't back down from anyone. When the game's over, we don't have any regrets.
It's a rematch and a revenge situation.
Get open, stay open. You want to take home a title today? Which one? Champion? Runner-up? Be open, stay open.
There's a lot of pressure on us to succeed because a lot of people don't expect us to win it.
The Final Four is what you play for. 6 months of hell, and finally you get to paradise.
Like I said all year long, we have Diana, and you don't.
Get open, stay open. Can you get open? Will you stay open?
Tonight, we award the ultimate prize in women's college basketball, the NCAA Championship, from a sold-out Georgia Dome in Atlanta. The title game matches the 33-4 Lady Vols of Tennessee against the defending national champion Connecticut Huskies. These fans are accustomed to a championship setting because between them, Tennessee and UConn have captured 9 NCAA titles in the last 14 years. Tonight, one of them will have an addition to an already impressive trophy case. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Dan Meyers. It's great to have you with us. The Huskies lost so much off of last year's national championship team that perhaps no one outside of Connecticut thought they'd be back here this year.
Well, I tell you, I'm still impressed with what they were able to accomplish, losing those 4 seniors and starters, and they're led by Player of the Year junior Diana Taurasi. Now, this is a team that had 70 wins in a row. That streak was incredible. They are in their 7th Final Four. They are playing for another national championship, defending it. They are young, they are loose, and Gino Auriemma said last year they were bit players. Now they're on center stage playing for the league.
And Tasha Butts is the one who's going to draw the defensive assignment against Taurasi tonight for Tennessee. Their advantage may be their experience and the overall depth of their skill.
Mike, they've got the 2 seniors, Gwen Jackson and All-American Lawson, and their leadership has been impeccable this year. They are a team that has not only the depth, they've got players inside, they can rebound, they have talent at every position, and boy, can they go to the boards. But the big thing, these seniors do not have a ring. Will the pressure be on them?
All right, the national championship game between Tennessee and Connecticut, just moments away.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship is brought to you by Harley-Davidson. The legend rolls on. Coca-Cola, let's make it real. And new Berry Burst Cheerios.
This game is for the national championship, the NCAA final between the Tennessee Lady Vols and the Huskies of Connecticut, the most dominant programs in women's basketball. A sellout crowd of over 28,000 here at the Georgia Dome, ready for a title game. But first, here's public address announcer Agnes Green.
It also provides security for Washington, D.C. in times of national emergency or civil disturbance. And now to honor America, and those who support our freedom at home and abroad, please rise and join Providence, Rhode Island native and Arista recording artist Blue Cantrell for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now for the Berry Burst Cheerios starting lineups.
And now let's meet the starting lineups. At forward for Tennessee, a 6'2" senior from Eufaula, Alabama, number 13, Gwen Jackson. At forward for Connecticut, a 6-foot freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, number 33, Barbara Turner. At forward for Tennessee, a 6'2" sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 43, Shira Eli. At center for Connecticut, a 6'3" sophomore from Palmer, Alaska, number 31, Jessica Moore. At guard for Tennessee, a 5'9" sophomore from Lakewood, California, number 21, Lori Moore. At guard for Connecticut, a 5'9" junior from Derby, Connecticut, number 5, Maria Conlon. At guard for Tennessee, a 5'11" junior from Milledgeville, Georgia, number 3, Tasha Butts. At guard for Connecticut, a 6'2" freshman from Castle Rock, Colorado, number 43, Ann Strother. At guard for Tennessee, a 5'8" senior from Alexandria, Virginia, number 20, Kara Lawson. At guard for Connecticut, a 6-foot junior from Chino, California, number 3, Diana Taurasi. And introducing the head coaches. For Tennessee, Pat Summit.
They really want you. They want you.
And for Connecticut, Gino Auriemma.
It's a pleasure to have Doris Burke and Pam Ward working the sidelines for us tonight. Here's Pam.
Thanks, Mike. And we do have the two most successful programs in women's basketball history here tonight. Pat Summit, of course, leading the way with 6 national championships. But a win tonight will give Gino Auriemma 4, 2 in a row in 3 of the last 4 years. So he's creeping up on the ladder. Pat Summit even begrudgingly admits that UConn has been the dominant program the last 3 years, but she also said Tennessee is still here. For more on Connecticut, let's go to Doris Burke.
Gino Auriemma and Diana Taurasi are both children of immigrant parents. Because of that, Gino Auriemma believes they share a unique bond and an awareness of 2 things. 1, they're different from everybody else, and 2, they must prove themselves. Mike and Annie, we remain in the land of opportunity, and tonight they get to pursue their dreams of another national title.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. And we are set to go. Diana Taurasi's parents, she has been unbelievable in the tournament, averaging 25.8 points a ball game. Kara Lawson has not been up to her standards, but expects to have a big game tonight. And UConn controls the opening tip with Barbara Turner.
Well, this game is going to change back and forth. Looking for Connecticut to make Tennessee play defense. And Tennessee will switch up their defenses in this game, but going inside.
Nice catch, and the bucket. Connecticut grabs the initial 2-0 lead.
And Tennessee, Mike, they'll want to push the ball as much as they can. Up-tempo, Connecticut wants to play them in a half-court game, but Tennessee is so good getting the ball inside.
And a nice start for Gwen Jackson. She hits the baseline jump shot. Jackson 8 times this year, 25 points or better, including in the semifinals.
Even though Shira Eli had 6 points and 7 rebounds, not a great game as she shot 3 of 7 against Duke. She opens up the floor for Gwen Jackson.
This is Strother outside. They go right back in to Turner, and Turner bricks a jump shot. Loose ball comes to Moore for Tennessee.
You got to like Connecticut's offense, so it's a one-on-one situation for Turner. They're clearing things out and opening up the middle for their offense.
Lawson, the point guard, done a tremendous job.
Well, she's the key. She's got to shoot the ball well. Carol Lawson's playing well. She's going to play well. But Carol Lawson, she can get rebounds, but she's got to score points for this Tennessee team.
Conlon gets the loose ball. Taurasi trying to get position underneath. Instead, it's Strother from the outside, and the freshman knocks down a 3.
I tell you, that is a huge basket, Mike, because Ann Strother has struggled with her shooting in the postseason play, and I really thought maybe she'd hit the wall as a freshman in as many minutes as she'd been playing.
Ball knocked out of bounds, and Strother, like a lot of her freshman colleagues, looked a little tight when she came out tonight.
Well, heads-up play by Maria Conlon to open up Strother and give her the confidence to take that shot. Strother now 3 of 6 in postseason play.
And when you're in a freshman in a national championship game, that first one's got to feel really good. Lori Moore.
Oh, boy.
She has only made 21 of 30 field goals in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the knock on Lori Moore is that she cannot hit the outside shot, especially in big games.
Taurasi with a long 3, and the rebound goes to Eli.
Well, most teams will play off Lori Moore and try and keep her out of the lane. Not a good pass by Kara Lawson, but I think that's a huge shot for those guards of both Tennessee and Connecticut. Diana Taurasi, she's got to make the game come to her. Just don't force up the threes. And I know it was a quick shot that Gino Auriemma probably did not want.
Conlon brings it up against Moore.
Great pressure defense by Tennessee. They saw what Texas did, and Gino Auriemma talked about Purdue and Texas really beating his team up. They're worn down, he says.
Back inside, turnaround jump shot, 2 straight for Jessica Moore.
Pat Summit telling her guards, Lori Moore, to push it up. Kara Lawson, when she's got it. Right now, Tennessee is a team that usually, if they're a made basket, they'll push it up, but they're not doing it.
Taurasi, great defense, held her ground against Eli. 3 on 2.
Tempo is too slow for Tennessee right now. In shoot-around today, Gino Auriemma made his team work it down to 12 seconds, and then get the ball inside.
Another great feat, exactly what you were talking about. Barbara Turner scores, she has 4, and UConn's up by 4.
What the perimeter players are doing for Connecticut too, Mike, they're keeping their dribble. They really worked on that at shoot-around today, so if they keep their dribble, they can move around if a pass is not open.
Eli.
Oh, Tasha Butts, great cut down the middle. They're going to call Strother for the foul. Too much contact, but Tasha Butts really making a nice cut. Gino Auriemma not happy with the call. But here's the pass. See how Strother is keeping her dribble alive. She's changing position. Now the double team came with a nice pass.
Foul on Strother was her first, and Jackson off the inbounds play can't hit the jumper.
This is a Tennessee team that's been out-rebounding their opponent by over 15 rebounds. Connecticut felt coming into this game, they got to get their hard hats on and rebound with Connecticut.
Number 1 in the country is Tennessee, you're right. Conlon a 3 over a screen and hit it. The players other than Taurasi so far having a big night. That's huge for UConn.
So much has been talked about this Connecticut team that Diana Taurasi is carrying the load. It's the other players. Who is going to step up tonight?
Conlon and Strother have each knocked down a 3. And the forwards have scored from inside. And Shira Eli with an answer. She has 4.
Well, it's still early. I think Tennessee's got to still pick up the tempo a little bit.
12-7. It'd be hard to imagine UConn could beat Tennessee without another huge night from Taurasi. But they've gotten 3 baskets from Jessica Moore at point-blank range.
But, Mike, this is where Taurasi really shines, I think. The fact that she passes the ball so well and she gets others involved. Once she starts doing that, then everybody else on Tennessee has to play good defense on the rest of the Connecticut team. Then Taurasi will start stepping up.
Lawson looking for someone inside, can't find it, and hits the long jumper. She is the best three-point shooter in the history of Tennessee basketball, number 2 in percentage, but she has made more than anybody else who has ever played for Pat Summitt.
Well, and Carol Lawson really needed that shot, too. She was 0 for 2 against Duke, but she's really struggled with her outside shot.
Taurasi so close on those cuts. She tries a 3, and Lawson with a rebound. Tennessee down by 4 with the ball. Butts too strong, and Taurasi with a rebound.
Barb Turner got hit in the face by Tasha Butts. And right now, for Connecticut, Diana Taurasi, I think her game could improve if she would go to the basket a little bit more. She'd get to the free throw line and put the ball on the floor.
Hard to imagine this kind of start for UConn. 14 points for 4 starters, none so far for Taurasi. Here is Strother, and she hits another one. Connecticut just shooting lights out, Annie.
Well, we talked about the screens that the teammates of Diana Taurasi set. Well, they're setting them for everybody else. They come off those screens, they're wide open. Tennessee is trailing on the screens. They got to switch, or they cannot trail like that. They've got to get through.
Nice drive by Tasha Butts, goes baseline, gets the layup. We have a timeout, 13:48 to go first half. UConn on top of Tennessee. Tennessee, let's check in with Pam Ward.
Thank you, Mike. Carol Lawson playing her last game for Tennessee, and her father, Bill, finally is watching. He wanted her to go to Stanford, and after she signed her letter of intent to go to Tennessee, he vowed he would never watch her play basketball again. Obviously, he's changed his mind, helped in part by Kara's Tennessee's teammates, and now his relationship with his daughter is patched up. And now that Kara wants to be a coach, he admits that being with Pat Summitt, pretty much she is at the Stanford as far as coaching schools is concerned. Mike?
Tell you what, Bill Lawson grew up on welfare, a self-made man, and established a set of principles and wasn't about to back down on those principles for anyone or anything.
Well, thank goodness he saw the light.
Yes, sir. Full court pressure. Strother will try a 3. She's already hit one, rims out on this. The rebound goes to Ashley Robinson, who is in for Pat Summitt.
And that's where Tennessee's got to take advantage, get those defensive rebounds and run. But Connecticut doing a good job on the transition defense.
Lawson can't find an opening and goes to Lori Moore. Gwen Jackson, good fake to get open, and then couldn't hit the shot. been one and done for everybody in this game.
And Tennessee, and this is why Connecticut's playing so well too, in the sense that they are stopping Tennessee from getting those second and third shot opportunities. That's where they're so strong. They're going to call the foul on Lynette Crockett, trying to get position against Gwen Jackson, just getting a little too rough down there. And Gino Auriemma trying to plead his case.
Crockett, the freshman, in after the break. First 10 possessions. Tennessee 5 out of 8. UConn 7 out of 10. The only difference, those 2 turnovers. And Taurasi only had 2 shots and hasn't scored as yet. It's got to surprise Tennessee that everybody else is taking the shot so far. And a poor pass by Tasha Butts, airmailed into the crowd. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Mike, an update on freshman Barbara Turner. She took a pretty good shot to the head. She was bleeding. They've taken care of that. They've taken the blood off her jersey. But trainer Rosemary Regal just administered an eye test. They're concerned that she was hit hard enough, and whether or not she will be back in shortly remains to be seen. That's the shot to the head. They have stopped the bleeding. It is off her jersey, so it now is just up to Rosemary as to when she can go back in.
Well, hopefully she'll be all right, Doris. Thank you. Tennessee with good defense.
And Barbara Turner was playing very well offensively.
Brittany Jackson in the ball game, number 25. She had a big semifinal game. Really helped them off the bench. And an offensive rebound for Tennessee and a new 30 on the shot clock.
Now, not only Brittany Jackson, but Ashley Robinson came into that Duke game, and she was key, too. And at 6'5", she creates some problems for Connecticut.
Jackson in the lane, and she's fouled by Strother. That will be 2 on Ann Strother.
Fouls will be a concern for Gino Auriemma and his team. He doesn't have the depth that Tennessee does. Certainly in the backcourt as far as ball handlers. Nicole Wolf, who's on the bench for the first time dressed out this season since she got hurt. And she was a starting guard at 6'2", and in 10 games, averaged over 6-7 points.
Had to feel really bad for her. Had a stress fracture in her foot, sat out all those games, was ready to come back. And they found yet another stress fracture that has kept her out the rest of the year. Brittany Jackson, the sophomore from Cleveland, Tennessee, hits them both. And we have a 2-point game. And continues to cling to a lead over Tennessee in the women's national championship game from Atlanta, Georgia. Liliana and Mario Taurasi, the parents of the All-American and most people's player of the year.
Well, he's from Italy, and Doris Burke had talked about being immigrants, and he moved to Argentina when he was a young boy and met Lillian, and they're both from Argentina, moved to California, and that's where Diana Taurasi and her sister were raised, and speaks fluent Spanish.
And don't expect Taurasi to become frustrated because she's not scoring. She just wants to win. Taurasi down the lane, there's an example. Great pass off. She had a layup, instead got it to Lynette Crockett, and draws the first team foul against Tennessee in this half.
So she reminds me so much of a Rick Barry. Rick Barry always talked about that first shot has to be the same form and non-pressure as the last shot. And no matter how much time is left on the clock, that's how Diana Taurasi plays.
Lynette Crockett at the line, misses the first free throw. She had an outstanding game against Texas, 9 points, 10 boards off the bench. An example of the youth of Connecticut. Just one young player after another rattles this one home. And we are separated by 3.
Now remember, Jessica Moore and Ashley Battle had redshirted, so they worked out with those 4 seniors that graduated. They had a year under their belt before 2 years actually, before they graduated.
Good ball movement by Tennessee. Lori Moore had it partially blocked and taken away.
Diana Taurasi leads the team in blocked shots.
Taurasi down the lane, a little runner, and got it. Her first 2. And the lead has grown to 5.
See, that's where I think she can take advantage of her size and her dribbling ability.
Brittany Jackson with a miss. The follow won't go, but Gwen Jackson with a rebound.
3 seconds.
And that's what the call is. Waited a beat too long, and Pat Summitt doesn't like it. She wanted a foul.
Diana Taurasi coming over a little late, getting a hand on it. She's tall. Lori Moore can't get it. And then good body control by Diana Taurasi down the lane.
She never seems to be off balance.
She's not real fast. Gina Oriam and some other coaches kind of compared her to that Larry Bird speed.
Well, if you compare to Larry Bird in several areas, you got a good one, don't you?
That's right.
Lawson hustling it back down court.
Well, give credit to the defense of Connecticut right now because Tennessee has not been able to push the tempo.
Gwen Jackson slices into the lane and got the roll. Nice soft touch by the senior from Eufaula, Alabama, who has dedicated this entire tournament to her grandmother who passed away. And she's been sensational. 1916. Moore screens for Conlon. Taurasi over Jackson. Three. Drained it.
Same expression. Now, Connecticut looks like they set up in a zone sometimes. They might stay in it, but then they fall back into the man-to-man, which is what they just did.
Good defense by Crockett. Forced a bad pass. The fifth UConn turnover. And Diana Taurasi, who had gone the first 8 minutes of the ball game without scoring, has hit 5 quick ones.
And Lori Moore called the switch on that. Brittany Jackson couldn't get out. Lori Moore never got picked. She just didn't follow Taurasi, and by the time Brittany Jackson was told to go out, it was way too late to get on Taurasi.
We are playing for a national championship, the NCAA Finals from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Glad you could join us on a Tuesday night. Hope you're enjoying this ball game. The two premier programs in women's basketball, and UConn has won both of the national championship games that they have been in.
And maybe a good switch by Pat Summitt to put Shira Eli on Taurasi at 6'2", has the quickness to stay with her and made the nice steal.
Check it, they have won all 3 of the national championship games they have been in. Jackson, too strong on the 3, got her own long rebound. Gwen Jackson so dangerous when she gets it that deep. Gwen Jackson has half a dozen, and the lead's cut to 4.
Well, Tennessee continuing to go to their bread and butter player right now that's gotten them there, Gwen Jackson.
Long shot, no good by Turner.
It was a quick shot, Mike. I think Gino Auriemma and his staff want more patience in the offense.
Lawson couldn't hit the leaner, but Jackson gets the follow and draws the foul. There's the offensive rebounding that Pat Summitt was looking for.
Gwen Jackson, 25 points and 15 rebounds against Duke the other night. He's just been relentless on the boards. Good pass by Carol Lawson, and then the nice spin move, up and under move by Gwen Jackson.
Misses the first, she'll get another.
She's been getting to the free throw line.
Pat Summitt said she is as focused and as confident as she has ever been in her Tennessee career, and it's showing in the numbers she has racked up in the NCAA.
Boy, Pat Summitt in this first half is really going deep into the bench.
Courtney McDaniel comes in to give Jackson a breather.
Can do one of two things. You can either throw off your offense a little bit because players aren't used to playing with each other, or at least give your starters a rest.
Tennessee has the only offensive rebounds in this game, 5-0 in that department over UConn. Moore kicks it out to a wide-open Conlon for 3, can't hit it. Brittany Jackson with a rebound.
You like Tennessee's defense in the sense that they're forcing Connecticut to take those outside shots. They're sagging back a little bit and daring them to knock it down.
Shauna Zolman, number 5, in for the first time for Tennessee. You want to see somebody shoot outside shots. Boy, she has a great stroke.
Well, this Tennessee team, 158 straight games with 3-pointers. Tennessee does not have one yet.
Courtney McDaniel wide open inside, couldn't finish it. Taurasi right back, goes down the lane and draws a foul.
Well, that's a smart move right there, Mike, because Diana Taurasi recognizing the young players were in not to be able to guard her.
Foul was on Lawson. We've got a timeout with 6:47 left first half. The other night in the semifinals, Gino Auriemma won his 500th game. He has only lost 99 in his career, going for his 4th national championship. Pat Summitt going for her 7th. Tennessee strength tonight, Annie, in the paint.
Well, Connecticut's getting it done in the paint, too, right now. And they've got some players in Jessica Moore and Barbara Turner going inside and looking for their shots. At practice today, Gino Auriemma said that to both them and Crockett, once they get inside the lane, look for your shot, don't look to pass.
The surprise has been with Tennessee to have the expected advantage. Tennessee is out rebounding UConn 12-6 inside. Let's go to Doris Burke.
And you have noted on a couple of occasions how quickly Connecticut is shooting the basketball. Gino Auriemma told his team the exact same thing. He said, in the half court, let's torture them a little bit. Mike?
Torture's a good word for it, but right now they have only tortured them to a 3-point lead, and powering her way in is Barbara Turner. She just seems to be able to move anybody out to where she wants them.
Well, the coaches for Connecticut really felt that in order to make Tennessee play defense, they play tough defense that first 15 to 18 minutes, and then all of a sudden, it's tough to guard for 30 seconds as long as you continue to run your offense. And Connecticut gets 5 to 6 passes in their half-court game. Zolman pressing things a little bit, a little penetration right there, coming up with the charge.
One on Zolman. UConn still shooting lights out, 10 out of 17. Tennessee has dropped off to under 50%.
We talked to the Connecticut players yesterday, and they said if we can rebound with Tennessee, we've got a good chance.
Moore, poor passes. She tried to get it to the cutting Taurasi.
And even though Connecticut beat Tennessee in overtime earlier in the year, Taurasi said they didn't play well.
Brittany Jackson drains the 3. She has 5 points, and Tennessee is back to within 2.
Well, Connecticut's going to have to find out who the shooters are from the outside, and Taurasi continuing to struggle from the outside.
Taurasi in and out, nice save by Barbara Turner, and she whacked it off of Brittany Jackson out of bounds.
Well, and that won't stop Taurasi from shooting, though.
Oh, no. Shooters shoot. Just moves so fluidly. Strother for 3. Won't go. Brittany Jackson with a rebound. Tennessee can tie with a 2. There's the long pass down court. McDaniel. We're tied at 24. Gino Auriemma unhappy with his club that they didn't get back in time on defense.
Well, they're just throwing up these threes. It's killing them because they're not getting any rebounds, and now Tennessee's able to push it up. 2 fast break points. Looking down the floor, Carol Lawson with the nice long pass. And the players for Tennessee, their post players, their wings, they can run the floor and get down. But Connecticut, for me right now, watching them, when they run their half-court set, they get good passes, good cuts off the screens. They're getting good wide-open shots and maybe a second and third opportunity. Right now, they're jacking up threes they don't have to.
First time these teams played this year, it was a 1-point overtime game, so it's no surprise they're tied with 6:19 to go in the first half. Tomorrow, the Stanley Cup playoffs kick off on ESPN and ESPN2 at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. You'll be able to see the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. The Boston Bruins at the New Jersey Devils. Playoff hockey starting tomorrow. Conlon wide open for 3. Conlon's hit a pair of those.
That time there was a lot of patience, and Conlon set up, nobody on her because out of that zone they tried to steal it. And Gino Auriemma said Maria Conlon's got to come up with some big shots, and she has.
Brittany Jackson, good pass to the baseline for the attempted layup by Shira Eli, but she couldn't hit it, and then Connecticut collapses to tie it up in a jump ball, but it goes back to Tennessee on the possession arrow.
I tell you, Courtney McDaniel, 6'1" junior from Bristol, Tennessee. They call her Minute Maid. She comes into the game and she makes things happen, especially with those long orange socks. Those are the kind of socks I used to wear, but they were white.
They were white. Ashley Battle on the steal, outstanding defensive player. Tennessee wanted to travel, didn't get it. She missed the shot anyway.
Well, Courtney McDaniel right there.
Lawson hustling it back down the other way, makes a good decision and pulls it out to set up the offense. 5:25 to go first half. A 3-point UConn lead. Great move with the left hand. Shira Eli. She has 4.
Well, this is a Husky team that should know that Shira Eli is left-handed because Jessica Moore is left-handed.
Taurasi, no look pass inside. Good ball movement. Now Taurasi left alone. She'll take another 3 and knock it down. Diana Taurasi has 8 and the lead's back to 4.
It's that extra pass, Mike. It's almost like Taurasi thought about it and then passed to Conlon. Conlon got it right back to her because the defense had shifted.
Connecticut fans on their feet in appreciation. And now the Tennessee fans are going to try to get their team back into it. Bad pass, Lawson recovers, 6 on the shot clock. And Lawson will have to launch a 3 off target, and that's going to be a foul over the back on Courtney McDaniel.
There's the pass. She almost took that one, and then it comes back around to her, inside, outside, just the extra passing that Connecticut is doing when they reverse the ball like that. Tennessee really has to work on defense because everybody's a good shooter for the Huskies.
Taurasi only took 2 shots in the first 8 minutes. Since then, she has gone 3 for 4 and gotten 8 points here in the first half.
Taisha Fluker at 6'5", the freshman, only averaging 6.5 minutes is in the game.
Bad pass thrown away by Barbara Turner, and Pat Summitt, I think, going as deep into her bench as she can, and she would love to think she could eventually wear down the Huskies.
Latoya Davis is the only one that has not played on the bench, and Pat Summitt this year has said this team has had a lot of chemistry. Everybody likes each other, though Kara Lawson said at the beginning of the season they were at each other so much in practice and playing so hard, you thought they hated each other.
Fluker, who was number 50, was a parade All-American out of high school.
California.
Gwen Jackson, a little spin move and got the roll. Gwen Jackson has 9. It's back to a 2-point game. Conlon calling out what she wants.
Zoned by Tennessee. The guards really come out high, which leaves that middle wide open.
Battle drives right in there. Line drive jump shot hit the front of the rim.
Ashley Battle is such a good athlete, but her shot, she fades away from a lot of her shots when she doesn't have to. If she goes straight up, she has a better chance of it going in.
Lori Moore back in at the point. Brittany Jackson, a lot of contact. Offensive foul on Brittany Jackson. That will be 3 on her. This game means so much to these kids, especially to Diana Taurasi and to the senior, Kara Lawson. All the way, Connecticut currently leading by 2 with 3:17 to go in the half, and a lot of alumni star players on hand. Shamiqua Holdsclaw, who won 3 titles with Tennessee. And Swin Cash off of that great ball club last year. She was the Final Four MVP of the 4 seniors who led UConn to an undefeated season.
Tennessee again switching up their defenses, and I think they've done a pretty good job trying to keep Connecticut out of that middle. They'll call a travel on Ashley Battle, but making them put the ball on the floor.
Check in with Pam Ward. Pam?
Yeah, Mike, you guys have mentioned about all the substitutions that Pat Summitt has made. She says she's very pleased with the way that they are pushing tempo, said they did a great job, and she's stressing again winning this last segment. They practice winning 4-minute segments during scrimmages, and they want to win this last one going into the half.
Well, I think eventually, Pam, this depth is going to show up for Tennessee. Jackson with a long-range shot, can't hit it. Conlon lost the rebound, though, to Lawson.
In those 4-minute segment practices that they had, basically they brought all the statisticians out. They said, look, don't panic. Look at what you can accomplish in 4 minutes. And you can play hard. It's not that long. And they realized, like, oh, yeah, we're not that tired. 4 minutes. And they were more patient, too, in their offense.
Eli, turnaround 15-footer. Another offensive rebound. This one goes to Fluker. And a fresh 30 on the shot clock for Tennessee. UConn now in his zone, a little tougher to box out. And Tennessee does have some height on the court right now.
Well, they're in that 2-3 zone, and then they're switching up. Now they're back into the man-to-man.
Moore trying to penetrate, can't. Shira Eli loves to spin to her left. Taurasi with a save, but she stepped on the end line. And Tennessee will get the ball back again.
Yeah, I think a really good job by Connecticut. They have the heads to switch up in that zone and then go back into the man-to-man and fooling the Lady Vols.
The margin still belongs, or check it, the margin now belongs to Tennessee. They have been the best rebounding team in the nation.
Well, Connecticut has gotten out-rebounded 4 times this year. One was the Tennessee game, and they won all 4 of those games.
And guess who their leading rebounder is? Taurasi. They are letting them play tonight, and Fluker gets a bucket. She averages 3.1 points a game. That 2-pointer ties it at 30.
And Barbara Turner gave that up. That was a flop right there. You got to keep your position.
Tied 4 times. Taurasi, triple team. Blocked out of bounds, the last touch by Taurasi.
The biggest thing for Diana Taurasi, Mike, is not to get frustrated. Shira Eli is really playing tough defense. And then you see the triple D. Moore comes over to help out. They call it the other side. Texas was real physical with Diana Taurasi. And the biggest thing is not to get frustrated. Keep her cool.
And I think she was really tired at the end of that Texas game.
Except when she hit that 3.
Oh, yeah. She missed a couple of critical free throws. Of course, the way she played, that's being picky. Lawson, the long 3.
And she made no excuses for missing those free throws. She said, normally, in clutch situations, I hit him. I just was thinking about something else.
Normally, in a clutch, she hits everything.
Well, and Gino Ariana said, what are you doing? She goes, oh, yeah, I'm trying to miss him on purpose. That's what she said to him coming back.
15 on the shot clock, 41 on the game clock. Strother gives it up to Conlon. Conlon picks up her dribble with only 8 on the shot clock. They find Taurasi, and she knocks down a 3. She always seems to be there for the big shot. She has 11 in the first half. And now Tennessee will take a timeout with 20.1 seconds on the clock. Andy, she's just a marvel.
And it's a heart of a champion, too. Look at how tough it is. She felt she was fouled right there by Shira Eli. Look at her posting up, turning, doing everything she can to get open. It is, boy, going back and forth. Hey, you give me a little sunlight right there, I'll knock it in your face.
In your face is right. 11 points for Taurasi, who has been so brilliant throughout the tournament, the Wade Trophy winner. Our singular halftime report is coming up. Reese Davis, Nell Fortner, and Stacey Dale Schumann will be along. Moments of the year in college basketball in our first half breakdown. And that's all next on the singular halftime report.
Last 6 points scored by Diana Taurasi. That 3, huge, as you said, going into halftime. They've got a chance of maybe getting it back if they play some good defense or Tennessee takes a quick shot.
Gwen Jackson with 9.
Taurasi, the only player on the court in double figures in the first half. Gwen Jackson has 9 for the Lady Vols. See what they can come up with on the last possession.
Now look for Gwen Jackson. Zolman likes a 3. There's a steal.
Steal by Conlon. Taurasi on the break. 4-on-1. Gets it to Battle. Battle has it blocked from behind. Offensive rebound. Follow is good. Wilnette Crockett. Are you kidding? How did she make that?
I tell you, the Husky players are taking the lead in this game. Battle a little bit too hard. Crockett with the big rebound, but look at that shot going up. Tennessee can't recover going into halftime, but the steal by Maria Conlon, the supporting cast of Diana Taurasi coming through in the first half.
2 enormous plays at the end of the half. Let's go to Dora. She has Gino Auriemma.
Gino, before the game, you talked about playing with the lead. You were able to get it down the stretch of that first half. How do you maintain it in the second?
Well, I'll tell you what, they started really hurting us on the backboard there in the second half. And I said going in, if we can rebound the basketball, if we can stay between them and the basket, and we'll be fine. But boy, they started hurting us there. But, you know, we made some big shots. Whoop. 20 more minutes, brawlers. That's all. 20 more minutes.
Gwen Jackson, she remains their most dangerous weapon offensively. What do you have to do to do a better job in the second half?
Well, I think sometimes, a couple times, we lost her in here. You know, she's got that little spin move, and we're just going to try to get as much help on her as we can. I thought we did a pretty good job in the first half. If we can hold them to 60, I'll be happy.
Good luck.
All right.
Mike, let's go back to you.
Doris Gino Auriemma never seems to lose his sense of humor, and Diana Taurasi never seems to lose the ability for the remarkable play. Welcome back to the national championship game at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. A 5-point lead for Connecticut over Tennessee at the half. Here are the numbers. UConn shooting a sparkling 53.8% from the floor. They've hit 50% from three-point range. What is keeping Tennessee in it? Outstanding rebounding, especially on the offensive side of the court. Welcome back to Atlanta, everybody. You talk about Diana Taurasi when you talk about Connecticut, but tonight it's been everybody else, not necessarily Diana Taurasi, that's given Connecticut this lead.
No, it really has. Their bench has produced for them. They may not be as deep, but their talent has come through. But Maria Conley, I think, has had a tremendous first half. 2 of 3 from three-point range, 5 assists, no turnovers, and that big steal towards the end of that first half. I think she's been solid in controlling the tempo and also playing very good defense.
Not that Taurasi is having an off night. She's the leading scorer with 11. Let's check in with Pam Ward.
All right, Mike, and just what Annie was saying when I talked to Pat Summitt, she said the key right now defensively is to make those three-point shooters like Strother and Conlon put the ball on the floor. She's been happy with the offensive rebounding, but wants the tempo to be a little bit more consistent when they push it. Mike?
All right, Pam, and they would love to think they can run UConn into the floor in the second half.
Well, you talk about rebounding, too. Shira Eli, only 1 rebound.
Taurasi starts the second half with a rainbow.
Well, it's tough to rebound when Connecticut is shooting over 53% from the floor.
There aren't that many to go around.
No,
Lori Moore with a big jumper.
Well, this second half, Kara Lawson's really got to make a difference in this because she struggled in the first half. She had that 3, but only 2 rebounds, and she's turned the ball over once, and she's got to come. I mean, she's such a perfectionist and the leader. She wants that ring, but might be pressing too much.
Taurasi using that little hop and skip that she does, and Conlon goes around a screen, and Moore, fighting through it, commits a foul. That will be number 1 on Lori Moore.
And that's the screens we're talking about. There you see Carol Lawson's number really struggling from the floor tonight in this game, and she's got to score. Pat Summitt has said she's a player that really needs to score in this game, but talked about the screens and how Connecticut gets open. He said, Gino Auriemma talked about the high school players, when they come in, they're all scorers. We really have to settle down and teach them how to set a screen because most of them don't know how to do it.
Have to teach them how to play defense, too. They probably never had to in high school.
What a move by Turner.
Great step through by the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. She has 8 points all inside. And UConn back up by 8, and Pat Summitt wants to talk about it. Not happy with her interior defense on that last sequence. 18:50 to go for a national title. The lead is 8.
Coca-Cola brings you Championship Expressions. Coca-Cola, real.
Inbounds play, and Butts scores immediately. Nice play by Tennessee coming out of the timeout.
And that's always a key play when you can score coming out of that timeout off that offense.
UConn shooting 58% in this game. That's why they're up by 8. Tennessee with a remarkable rebounding advantage. Taurasi makes a backdoor cut. Good ball movement. Strother for 3, and she knocks it down again.
4 3-pointers. She ties a career high that she's done a couple times, knocking down 4.
50-39, UConn with the lead. Robinson, offensive rebound, gets the follow, fouled by Taurasi. That's 2 on the All-American.
Now this Connecticut team shot 60% against USC earlier this season.
14 offensive rebounds for Tennessee. 14.
Actually, it was Pepperdine, but they're not converting. You'd think in 14 they'd have 28 points off those offensive rebounds.
Robinson to line, misses the first. She is only a 40.6% free throw shooter. She is 1 of 3 tonight. 40.6% won't cut it. Misses them both.
Championships are come and won at the free throw line.
Where Tennessee really trying to ratchet up the defense. Tough shot by Conlon.
Maybe the first bad shot she's taken.
Yep. An excellent defense by Brittany Jackson. She was all over it. Lawson picked up by Taurasi. And another whistle. Away from the ball, Jessica Moore called for pushing off, and we've gotten more fouls as the game has gotten more physical.
Husky foul number 31, Jessica Moore. That's her first personal, 15.
Just a tremendous rebounding job by Tennessee. They are plus 14, and 14 of those 26 rebounds are on the offensive end of the court.
I really look for Tennessee to start going inside. That's, you know, the outside shots are not falling for them. They've got to go inside the lane, take advantage not only of the short shot, but try and get Connecticut in foul trouble and get themselves at the free throw line.
Lawson missed another long-range shot. Moore at the high post, back to Conlon, almost a set shot that time, and can't hit it.
And another quick shot. Gino Auriemma just kind of shaking his head. Let's run it as far as getting some passes.
Jackson with a 3. Playing with those 3 fouls, Brittany Jackson 8 points off the bench, and that makes it an 8-point game.
Well, Maria Conlon, she got hot, and sometimes when you get hot, it gets you in trouble too.
Yeah.
And as you said in the first half, Mike, Diana Taurasi, you never stop shooting. She's been quiet in the second half.
Taurasi, double team, tried to dump it inside, poor pass, knocked away. Lawson on the run. Lawson with the layup. And I think Taurasi is tired. She did not get back on defense that time, just sort of swatted at Lawson.
Gino Auriemma looking for the timeout and regrouping his players and what they've got to do on the offensive end, the kind of shots they're taking, but you got to think on what they're doing. He's not happy about it. Brittany Jackson coming into the game, you mentioned in the first half, 3 fouls, and she's come to life in the second half. Tennessee kicking the ball up, getting some good defensive boards off those quick shots by Connecticut, enabling them to get out on the break.
And Lawson's first points in 22 minutes. She is their number 4 all-time scorer, and she's going to have to step up in the final 12:54 for Tennessee to come back. Part of the Tennessee crowd, I will tell you the truth. This is one of the nicest guys, one of the best people you will ever meet. Peyton Manning, now the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, who was such a star at Tennessee. He's just a great guy.
And Pat Summitt has had him come in to speak to the team.
Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Mike and Annie, Gino Auriemma had very simple instructions for Diana Taurasi. He said, I don't want you to pass the basketball. I want you to shoot the basketball.
And that's what he said at the end of last year when he lost those 4 seniors. You're coming in here to shoot it, not pass it.
10 on the shot clock. Conlon looking for Taurasi at the baseline. Short. Well, they got her the ball, but she couldn't hit it. Here's Lawson, maybe buoyed by that last lineup. Nice pass to Butts, but great defense taken away by Crockett. That was a big steal. Taurasi, penetrating layup, hammered and made the basket anyway. Gwen Jackson came over to try to stop the layup, really got in a shot, and Taurasi made the bucket in spite of it.
Well, Taurasi, again, look at the screen set. and she's rubbing off the splits. She changes paces right there. I mean, she's not super fast, but just that little explosion. And she comes in with that one hand, and Gwen Jackson gets her and knocks down the free throw. But just what makes her so tough, she finishes the shot.
Old-fashioned three-point play for Taurasi as she'll finally get a little bit of a breather, and Mom and Dad just loving it. She has averaged 25-8 during the NCAA tournament. She's been virtually unstoppable.
Had her career high 35 against TCU, and last year had a career high 32 against this Tennessee team.
The lead back to 9. Gino Auriemma would love to think he could give her a couple of minutes on the bench, but that will depend on the score. Lawson guarded by Strother. Gwen Jackson outside. Moore can't penetrate.
Tennessee's not getting any screens. They're just kind of passing and running around.
2 on the shot clock, and it expires as Butts put her teammates in a tough position trying to pass the ball with only 3 on the shot clock. There was nowhere to go. The 13th Tennessee turnover. This telecast is also available on ESPN HD, our new high-definition service providing remarkably clear pictures in a widescreen format. Here's what it looks like in this enhanced format. ESPN HD is made possible with the help of Philips and Best Buy. It is something to see. And Meyers, Mike Patrick, Pam Warden, Doris Burke, our entire ESPN crew with you from the Georgia Dome for a national championship. UConn leading Tennessee by 9. They have been up by as many as 13. Tennessee has been tied 4 times. They have never led in this ball game.
Tennessee going into a zone defense. And we've seen this Connecticut team shoot from the outside. They've just got to be patient.
They like to run this weave on the outside. Moore gets in the lane, can't hit the shot, but an offensive rebound against that zone. One of the few UConn's gotten tonight.
We had mentioned in the first half when Tennessee went into the zone that middle is wide open. That was a nice shot, didn't go in, but the rebound was wide open too.
Battle tries to make the tough pass. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
In that last huddle, Gino Auriemma for the first 10 seconds just sat and smiled at his team, and he said, take a deep breath and relax. We're in control. And this is where Gino separates himself from other coaches. Not only does he have a great sense of how his team is feeling, but he has an understanding of when another team is in trouble and letting his team know that, Mike.
Well, Doris, I think you're absolutely right, but here is another turnover as they tried to get the ball inside to Crockett. Lawson will try a 3 and hit it. Huge shot by Lawson. And I think that's going to get Diana Taurasi right back in the ballgame as the lead's been cut to 6. She's gotten a pretty decent rest on the UConn bench.
Well, this Lady Vol team has really made a good run in this second half.
Conlon outside the zone. Strother open. Nice move to get to the baseline for a jumper. Nice move by Ann Strother. The freshman has 10.
She's been pretty quiet.
Shira Eli. She'll try a 17-footer and knock it down.
Well, and that's what Tennessee has to do. They've got to hit the open shot. It gives them the opportunity to get back on defense.
10 minutes to go for a national championship. Will it be Tennessee's 7th or UConn's 4th? Battle to Strother out of the corner. Hit it again! Strother has 13. Taurasi can't get in the ball game because there hasn't been a dead ball yet.
3 times this Connecticut team this year has knocked down 11 three-pointers in a game.
Gwen Jackson to Lawson for 3. She's hit 2 in a row.
Oh my, that was deep.
Yes, it was. She's buried a couple in a row, cuts the lead back to 6. 9:20 to go.
Now back into the man-to-man.
And the shooting really has picked up in the second half for Tennessee. UConn continues to shoot lights out. Battle trying to get inside, and she will draw the foul on Robinson.
And that, I think, was a fatigue foul, Mike, because Ashley Battle is not the type of player that's going to get a shot off from outside the key.
That whistle will get Taurasi back in the ballgame, and Battle will come out. That was only the 3rd team foul against Tennessee. UConn has committed only 5 here in the ballgame. I don't believe we got into the 1-and-1 in the first half. Did we, John Madry? We did not.
Oh, nice move by Taurasi.
Perhaps refreshed by that timeout, Taurasi will draw the foul on Shira Eli.
she just made a great move to get open. And even though Eli recovered, it was so quick, and Meyers set it up. It's just that little jab step to the outside, which a lot of players don't do, and they call too much contact right there.
I gave you an incorrect number. That had been 16 fouls before that. That was the 7th. So we are in the 1-on-1 for the first time in this ball game. And Taurasi hits the first free throw for 20 points. The number 8 all-time Connecticut scorer as a junior.
And 6 games in a row scoring over 20 points. Oh, what?
And Taurasi with a blocked jump ball. Possession arrow gives it back to Tennessee. And Pat Summitt exploded off the Lady Vol bench.
Now players can learn from this move right here. Taurasi doesn't get off the ground. Puts her hands down. She stays low. Has the hand following the ball the whole way.
Perfect block. UConn can't control the long rebound off of Crockett. Out of bounds to Tennessee. A fresh 30 with 8:51 to go in the ballgame. Funny how when you look at replays, the officials just look better and better. And Pat Summitt is still livid about the call. She still thought it was a foul. Double team at the baseline. Shot won't go. Another tie-up. This time the possession arrow will give the ball to UConn. And a great job by both clubs. They are really going at it so hard, leaving nothing out there.
Well, Connecticut really doing a good job on the defensive end. They're smothering Gwen Jackson, not only off that block shot, then she got triple teamed, had a tough shot, and Crockett and McDaniel were right there to get on the ball.
Conlon will bring it up for UConn. Guarded by Moore. At the end of the first half, Tennessee got a couple of steals as they really came hard on the man-to-man. They get it to Taurasi with 13 on the shot clock, but it's a turnover. 3-second call, is that it? Yes, the 11th turnover for UConn.
You know, both coaches talked about a little bit of luck going your way and winning the national championships, not only getting here, but winning one, and plays like that are going to have to help Tennessee.
Lawson has hit 2 threes in a row. Conlon gets on her pretty tightly. Shot clock at 9. Shira Eli gives it up. McDaniel will try a 15-footer. Won't go. Rebound to Strother.
Good shot by McDaniel. The ball is not falling for them. They're not shooting a high percentage, but Connecticut doing a good job on the defensive boards, coming down and not slowing things down.
All Connecticut doing right here is burning some time till they get it to Taurasi. Basket counts and a foul. 23 for the All-American.
And player of the year. The thing is, Mike, what she does so well, she sets up the defensive player. She knows she's got a mismatch with Lawson on her. Look how deep Lawson's playing. Hey, I'm going to get it outside. She makes that little move and freezes the defense out of the corner of her eye, and boom, she blows by her on the back door.
Taurasi hits another free throw. 24 points for Taurasi. The lead's 11.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship is brought to you by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA.
7:43 left in this game. The veteran favorites, the Lady Vols of Tennessee, trailing by 11 to UConn, the defending national champions. The biggest comeback to win this year for Tennessee. They were down 11 against Mississippi State. They are down 11 right now. They have been down by as many as 13.
And that
offensive rebound on the air ball to Moore. Brittany Jackson with a left hand.
And that comeback was in the SEC tournament, and then they went on to play Sue Gunner's LSU team, where they got beat, one of their 4 losses this year.
Taurasi gives it up to Strother. Going to run Diana Taurasi around as many screens as they can find. She has it with 10 on the shot clock.
Well, they've got to try and put some pressure on the perimeter players, but Taurasi is so good at handling the ball.
One-on-one against Moore. What a shot!
She's not intimidated by anybody facing the basket or with her back to the basket. Her footwork is so good, and Gino Ariema says she's only 65% with that ankle injury in her back.
26 from Taurasi. She's hit 8 out of 12 from the floor, all 6 from the free throw line.
I'd have to say she's playing about 85–90% tonight. Just great post play right there, and she shoots it with the left hand. How do you like that one?
That was unbelievable. Last foul was on Moore for UConn. That one rattled out as Gwen Jackson tried the long-range shot. She's 41% from out there, but she's played an awful lot on the perimeter in the second half.
She has. The second half, though, Connecticut has done a fine job on her. Only 2 points, 1 of 5 from the floor in this second half. Gwen Jackson has. Carol Lawson has picked up the pace a little bit and watched Connecticut, I think, kind of key in on her a little bit more.
Conlon gets to Strother, who's had an excellent offensive ball game. Now Taurasi. Got away with a push-off and a block called. Looked like Taurasi got away with 2 fouls on that possession.
Diana Taurasi has said, I want the ball in my hands. If we're going to win, I want it. If we're going to lose, I want it in my hands.
Shauna Zolman committed to personal. And Annie, that's what star players do. You wanted it at the end of a game.
Well, and you do it, and it's not so much that you're, well, obviously you're very confident in your game, but so are your teammates, and it's not a slight on them, but they also have the ability, the great players, to get the ball to their teammates and have the confidence to them in order for them to win the game.
Taurasi has 28. UConn has matched his biggest lead, 13 points.
Hey, if you don't want the ball in your hand at the end of the game, you shouldn't be in there.
Well, you're not a star either. Last foul was called on Conlon, a holding foul. That will put Tennessee in the 1-and-1. And Annie, it looks like they've gone to a specialty defense with Lawson in mind.
Well, they're going to go into a box-and-1 and try and shade Lawson, not allow her, 1, to get the ball, but 2, not to get open for those 3-point shots.
She made her last 2 3-pointers. Exceptional free throw shooter. Number 1 all-time at Tennessee, almost 85% for her career. Makes both of these, 13 points on the game, 67-56. Taurasi has scored the last 9 for UConn, and she may get the rest.
And they stay in that zone because an man-to-man Zolman just is not going to be able to guard Taurasi.
They just worked the shot clock to around 10, get the ball at Taurasi. She's short on the jumper. Here comes Lawson. Conlon is back. Basket and the foul. And Carol Lawson doing everything she can, trying to get the only thing that has eluded her during a brilliant career, and that's a championship ring.
Well, just a little hesitation right there. Maria Conlon coming up, standing straight up and making the body contact. They're going to give the advantage to the offensive player. But a good hesitation move by Carol Lawson, finishing the shot because you thought Taurasi was going to come out of nowhere and try and get a block on it.
Conlon with 16 points, 13 of them coming in the second half. The lead is down to 8. And UConn not being greedy. The clock right now is their friend with 5:22 to go.
Well, they got to get some quick passes. They're slowing it down, but you got to get passes. You got to make the defense move and work.
Conlon picked up her dribble. Now Strother with 5 on the shot clock. Conlon, nice move to go to the baseline, but she can't hit the shot. And it's saved by Shira Eli.
Well, Tennessee was lucky on that. You let Maria Conlon have that kind of layup.
And Gino Auriemma knows they should have been able to get 2 out of that possession. 4:49 left. Jackson. It was a tough shot, and right in her face was Taurasi.
They should have given her a block, but the motion offense for Tennessee has been very slow.
I think they're more concerned about the clock than they are scoring, and that could be a very dangerous thing. They are virtually taking 25 seconds off of every 30-second possession.
Well, we talked about in that first half, too, whether the depth would really help Tennessee. And players coming off the bench and being fresh.
Strother missed a 3. Moore got the rebound and put it up. She couldn't hit it. Here comes Lawson on the run. Right down the lane. Scoop. Didn't hit the shot, but she did draw the foul. And that's good for Tennessee because it stops the clock. Thursday night, the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue. 7 o'clock on ESPN. Game 1, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks at the defending Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings. And at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Game 1, Minnesota against the Colorado Avalanche. Playoff hockey on ESPN and ESPN2. That last call was on Wilnette Crockett. That will be her third.
You know, Mike,
Lawson at the free throw line.
You talk about Taurasi wanting the ball in her hands. You can see that Lawson wants to make things happen now. Her dad, Bill Lawson, hasn't cracked that smile yet, but Kara Lawson really, you can see, wants it to happen.
Watch the way she dribbles the ball to free throw island. I love that.
Or her ball handling is impeccable. I asked her, you know, what do you say when you're shooting that free throw? She goes, oh, I can't tell you. It's just, I said, a la Karl Malone. But she takes that deep breath to relax, and she's been doing it ever since she was little.
Under 4 minutes to go. The lead's been cut to 6. To go for a double-team trap. Strother works it outside. Dangerous cross-court pass to Taurasi. She does the same thing for Strother for 3. Too strong. Nice rebound to Jackson. Ahead to Zolman. She's got that great outside shot. Instead, she goes baseline and is cut off. Brittany Jackson spins. Can't hit it.
Wilnette Crockett, big rebound for the Huskies. Tennessee had an opportunity, Mike. They've done a good job as far as forcing Connecticut with some bad passes, or I should say bad shots, and they've gotten an opportunity to run.
Now Taurasi is going to work on the clock, and they get a timeout from Gino Auriemma with 3:15 on the clock. Well, you just had a feeling this was going to be a good game, and the feeling has worked out.
Coming into this game, you really didn't know who was going to win. And of Tennessee, I think if they hit some of their shots, they're right into it. They have struggled with their offense, and they have not played the kind of intensity defense that they're used to.
Well, they've struggled with their offense. What they haven't struggled with is rebounding. They have been absolutely brilliant rebounding, and I think that's the only reason they're within 6.
But they've missed the putbacks, too, and that has hurt them. They have not shot the ball. It hasn't gone in well for them, and you just cannot beat Taurasi right now.
Here's our Harley-Davidson game track. 13 points off of 16 offensive rebounds. And Andy, that's perfect for the point you made. Lawson and Jackson have combined for 29 of their points. UConn continues to shoot lights out from the first moment of this game. Taurasi with 28 points. She has averaged 25-8 during the entire NCAA tournament.
And Gino Auriemma said coming into this game, people had asked how tired is Diana Taurasi and how beat up is this team. She said, she's got 40 more minutes in her.
Shot clock down to 2. She has to launch a really long one. Tipped up, but not before the shot clock violation. Here comes Tennessee.
Well, so many people feel, too, that this Connecticut team is the type of team you can't let up. No matter how much time is left on the clock, it can be 30 seconds. Do not let Taurasi open.
7-0 run for the Lady Vols. Almost a 9-0 run, but that foul will send Jackson to the free throw line.
Connecticut foul, Wilnette Crockett, her 4th.
Crockett picks up her 4th personal.
Gwen Jackson at the line shooting 2.
Jackson at the line, a 76% free throw shooter. Swish. Jackson now with 12 points, only her 3rd point of the second half. This would make it a 4-point game, and Crockett will sit down at the 2:39 mark with that 4th personal. This one won't go. Reach in and steal by Conlon.
Conlon, her 2nd steal, huge for Connecticut. Tennessee had a great opportunity, let it get away.
It was the 6:09 mark where UConn got the last field goal for them. We're now at 2:20. Taurasi goes backdoor. They can't find her with it. Strother, baseline drive, slashes inside and scores. What a play by the freshman.
Annie Strother, you haven't noticed her a little bit, but boy, she gets those shots inside, knocked down a couple threes, and She has been tough in this game. She needed a breakout game.
15 big points from Strother. Lawson trying to bring him back. Missed his shot. Strother got her hands on it. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow gives it to Tennessee. And we have a timeout with only 1:49 to go for a national championship. And the freshman from Castle Rock, Colorado, who has started every game this year, is having one of her best outings of her freshman season. By 7 over Tennessee with 1:49 to go. Here's Doris Burke.
Well, Mike, if they are able to hold on Connecticut for the last 1 minute 49 seconds, they will become just the third program to go back-to-back. The Cinderella analogy might be a little bit of a stretch, but the slipper awaits.
Boy, it would be a great performance by them. Last year they lost to 1, 2, 4, and 6 players in the WNBA draft. Somehow they have done it behind Taurasi, some sterling freshmen and sophomores.
And that'll be 5 for Lynette Crockett.
Called for a block. And the freshman from Harbor City, California, has fouled out of the ball game.
Well, you talked about the back. Linda Sharp's team did it in 84 and 85 with Cheryl Swoops and the McGee twins, and then Pat Summitt's teams back in 91, 96, or 96, 97, 98.
3 points and 6 boards for Wilnette Crockett, who had 9 points and 10 rebounds in the semifinals against Texas.
Well, you know, I got to go back to the AIAW days, too, because with Kathy Rush at Immaculata and Margaret Wade at Delta State, Marianne Stanley at Old Dominion, they've all won back-to-back.
That was before they were officially an NCAA sport, an NCAA tournament. It was the AIAW.
This is the 36th year of women's college basketball, and in the 21 years for the NCAA, there's only been 12 coaches that have won the NCAA championship. In AIAW, in the 14 years, they've had 8 coaches. So it is an elite group of coaches that have won a national championship.
Robinson probably doesn't want to see the free throw line anymore. She is only 1 out of 5 tonight. A 40% free throw shooter on the year. She misses them both again, and yet another offensive rebound for Tennessee. But time getting precious, and we've got a hole away from the ball.
Tell you, Gwen Jackson has really worked hard to get inside and get post-up position, and Connecticut has had trouble defending her. Lynette Crockett fouled out. Robert Turner picking up a foul.
That's amazing. 19-4 offensive rebounds, but they only have 13 points off of those 19 offensive rebounds.
It's huge. Out-rebounding them 38-20 on the boards. And Gino Oriama's got to feel pretty good, but his team is 10 of 21 from three-point range and shooting 52% from the floor.
Jackson now has 13 points, and the bonus here for Tennessee is that the clock has stopped at 1:35.
And that's totally the advantage of Tennessee.
Rims out on the second. So the lead is 6. Taurasi will use as much clock as she can and then probably take the shot herself. Guarded by Lawson. Loose ball. Very physical here in the second half by both ball clubs. That is a tight weave they're running out there. And a reach in and a foul is going to be on Robinson as she went for the steal. That's her second with 1:15 to go.
Well, Tennessee's got to hope, obviously, if the free throws are missed. Maria Conlon is pretty solid at the line.
77% on the year, and they are in the double bonus.
But Tennessee, coming down on the offensive end, doesn't have to shoot quick three-pointers. But they've got to score quickly, I believe.
Right now, they are only down by 2 possessions as Conlon misses the first of 2. Zolman will come in. And Robinson is back in for Tennessee. They are both excellent long-range shooters.
And think what would happen if Tennessee was knocking their threes down.
Oh, Conlon hits the second, so it's a 7-point lead. Lawson, let's see if somebody can get a screen to get off the three.
Well, they're standing, they're trying to get open by themselves. Nobody's making any cuts. Oh!
Are you kidding? Brittany Jackson with a prayer that was answered. She leaned into it, and look at the face of Gino Auriemma. He wants to see if that was a 2 instead of a 3. Initially, she was behind the line. Did she cross it before she let it go? That will be the question.
Well, she said she did those kind of shots in high school all the time.
Well, she never hit a bigger one.
She was behind.
It's not where you land, it's where you take off. And it looked like she took off behind the line and didn't hit the floor again.
Well, Brittany Jackson's a player that had a high of 50 points in high school. She most certainly took off behind the line.
What a shot. Holy cow, what a shot. What a time to make a circus shot. And now we have had some kind of electrical failure in the building, and the scoreboards, the clocks, the shot clocks, everything else off.
And if the officials conclude that it is a three-pointer, Gino Auriemma will lose that timeout.
And they certainly are not going to be able to conclude anything else. She left the floor well behind the three-point line and didn't touch it again until after it was gone. That is a remarkable situation with 101 to go in a national championship game. She knew how desperate they were to get off a shot. She made it anyway.
Well, Brittany Jackson, one of the great scorers, really, out of high school and on this Tennessee team. A lot of people know her as a three-point shooter. She knocked that one down, but it looked like it was going to be a drive to the basket.
Now, you can't tell me she made those all the time in high school. Nobody makes those all the time.
Hey, when you get 50 in a game, you made a lot of them.
And that cuts it to a 4-point game, assuming they go ahead and credit the three-pointer, which I don't see how they cannot do that. So both coaches right now getting a long time to talk to their ball clubs and map strategy for the last one-on-one. If you're Tennessee, do you come out and foul? You go for the steal early and then commit a foul with a minute one?
No, I think there's too much time left. And I also think Tennessee has been playing aggressive defense. Connecticut has struggled in handling the ball in the last couple possessions. But if they don't get a quick steal, if they don't get a quick turnover, then yes, you're going to have to foul. Connecticut missed Maria Conlon at the free throw line.
Well, no question that Brittany Jackson launched it from behind the line. And coming off the bench tonight, she has 13 points, 8 of them in the second half. Started number 10 all time in Tennessee women's history in made three-point shots, and she's a sophomore. The officials continue to look at this. It looked like she was going to step through with her left foot, but she never did.
That's right. Never stepped down, and that right foot stayed as a pivot foot.
I think they've looked at this about 10 times, unless they're seeing something that we're not seeing. I don't know why it would take more than once. And now they're going to call both coaches together. And they may also be talking. Oh, I think I know what they were doing. They were also checking. Good officiating here. They were also checking when the shot clock and the game clock went off, when the power went off. They checked that last basket. Here's the reset. We're in the double bonus for both clubs. Each have 2 timeouts left. The possession arrow favors UConn. Strother gives it to Taurasi. Remember, there is no 10-second count in women's basketball. You can stay back there the entire 30 if you want to.
But there is a backcourt.
Once you get it across, you have to observe that. Shot clock is at 12. Game clock at 43. I want to get the ball to Taurasi. Cuts around the screen. 15-footer. Taurasi is short. Got her own rebound. Fresh 30 seconds. Now Tennessee's got a foul.
They can't catch him.
And they get Conlon. 29.1 to go in the ballgame.
What happened, Tasha Butts was looking for a switch off Taurasi, and when she came off, when she was guarding Taurasi and Maria Conlon, she came up off the high guard, and Taurasi was wide open. Taurasi missed a shot, but Taurasi was wide open, to get the rebound off the long board.
Maria Conlon, who just made 1 of 2, hits the first of 2 here. And we're having all sorts of scoreboard problems. They just put up the score of Tennessee 66 and UConn 5. Now they have changed it to 71-66. So it is still a 2-possession game, no matter what Conlon does with the second one. And Tennessee is going to have to come down and get a bucket, go for the steal if they don't get that foul again. Here are the most points ever scored in the NCAA tournament. Cheryl Swoops, Shamiqua Holtzclaw. Taurasi has moved up to 3rd all-time. 2 more points. She passes Holtzclaw and closing in on Swoops. And you might imagine that she'll get back to play in the tournament next year.
Got a good chance of going over those 20 points again. If they miss, Tennessee's got to come down. First of all, they got to get the rebound. And we've seen Connecticut, they're capable of getting a rebound.
Conlon misses the second. She has 11 points, 2 out of 4 from the line. Lawson with Taurasi waiting for her, misses the 3. Offensive rebound and the foul by Gwen Jackson in the quick timeout by Tennessee. 21 seconds left to go in the game. It is a 3-point margin. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen will come along and they'll wrap up this remarkable game completely. Matsui with his debut for the Yankees in New York. MJ and the Cavs one last time. And, you know, you've really got to admire what Michael Jordan has done down the stretch. Not only has he led that ball club, he has ripped his younger teammate for not following the lead. UConn have followed Diana Taurasi tonight. She's been brilliant, and so have they.
Diana Taurasi has worked hard in this game. She's gotten banged up, but she's seen in some light. She's knocked down big-time threes. She can go to the basket and finish shots when she's fouled. She knows how to post up, shoots with the left hand, fade into the baseline. She does it all, has had a couple blocked shots and some fabulous assists.
That left-handed switch was the best one tonight. That gave her the angle. She is never seemingly out of control. She always knows what she can do, and she always seems to be able to do it. Tennessee has used its last timeout with 21 seconds to go. So you try to foul a bad free throw shooter, but UConn isn't going to give it to a bad free throw shooter.
Well, Conlon 2 of 4, and I know that Gino Auriemma, you can't dictate whether the player's going to make the shot or not, but he was upset about how the team allowed Tennessee to bring the ball up so quickly and get the shot off. So you foul right away, you foul.
And you're probably not going to be able to foul Taurasi because she passes the ball in.
And she's the best passer.
Exactly, but you lose the opportunity for her to shoot free throws. So Strother is fouled.
Who's an 81% free throw shooter.
Not bad. And Strother has had a wonderful game. She plays just about the same number of minutes as Diana Taurasi does, which is remarkable for a freshman.
And this really, Mike, is a game that Diana Taurasi probably could not have carried herself. She needed help, and Ann Strother really stepped up.
Big situation for the freshman here. First trip to the free throw line. 80.6% on the year. Hits the first, she'll get another. That makes it a 2-possession game. Tennessee offensive and defensive substitutions. They get the long-range bombers back in there, especially the remarkable Brittany Jackson, who apparently can score from any angle. Strother hits them both. 5-point lead. 17 for Strother. Ashley Battle will come in defensively for Connecticut.
And I like this because it's going to make it difficult for the Lady Vols to get up the floor. They'd like to get it in Lawson's hands. Oh!
Throw it away. Battle with the interception. She gets it out to Taurasi. That may have done it. Battle didn't even look at the basket. Smart play back out to Taurasi. UConn, brilliant ball movement. They did it. The Connecticut Huskies. What a remarkable year after going 39-0. 37-1 and win back-to-back national championships. And Annie, have you ever seen anyone more complete than Taurasi?
Not right now. Not right now. The kind of shots that she makes, what she wants to do as far as not only controlling the ball, but she controls the defense. She gets her teammates involved. She makes them feel like they are a part of what's going on. They're just as important. And I just love her leadership. I love her swagger.
Pat Summitt denied a 7th national title tonight. Instead, Gino Auriemma, who won his 500th career game last night, gets number 501 tonight. Back-to-back national championships and the 4th overall of his brilliant career. He raised a firestorm in Tennessee when he jokingly said that Tennessee's program was the evil empire. He said it tongue-in-cheek. Tonight, the force was with him.
Well, but Tennessee, and give credit to Pat Summitt because of the fact that Tennessee has created a lot of rivalries and put Connecticut on the map in '95 when they went into stores and played them, and they have put a lot of teams in the national championship. So Tennessee has always been the measuring stick.
You couldn't ask much more of Taurasi. She went scoreless the first 8 minutes, concentrated on setting up her teammates who did a great job scoring, but she finishes with 28 points. 8 out of 15 from the floor. Perfect from the line, 8 of 8. And she threw in 4 rebounds and a couple of block shots. Annie, a remarkable performance by Connecticut. They were the underdog coming in. And Doris Burke, you have the winning coach, Gino Auriemma.
Gino, all season long, you said this was a flawed basketball team. How do they win a national championship?
I've never been more proud of a group of kids in my entire life. Nobody ever deserved it more than these kids. How hard they've worked and what they've endured. And yeah, we're a flawed basketball team, absolutely. And you know, we beat a really good basketball team today, but we might have our flaws. But I'll tell you what, I've never met a tougher bunch of kids in my life.
You have said you have Diana Taurasi. Nobody else does. How does she continue to make the tough moments her best moments?
Well, because she's just a fearless individual. I mean, the kid is just, she just comes from a different cloth, you know. She got a lot of that Italian in her, you know, and God bless her, because I've never been around anyone who is just immune to the pressures of the moment and just lives in the moment and has such joy and passion for the game and shows it every possession.
You told me yesterday missing an extra in Barbara Turner and Ann Strother. Assess their performance today.
Well, I thought Barbara was okay. You know, she got hit. She took a pretty good shot early on, but I thought Ann Strother came up big, boy. I tell you, you know, she said she was going to play well, and I'm really happy for her, because she's one of the hardest working kids I've ever coached. And for a freshman to come in and play that kind of game, you know, now I won't have to listen to my friend Jim Boeheim at the Big East coaches meetings give me a hard time about how he coached freshmen to a national championship.
Congratulations, Gino. Let's head over to Pam Ward.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Gino Auriemma was talking about Diana Taurasi. We have her right here. Wow, could you ever believe this, the beginning of the season, you lose those 4 sensational seniors, you'd be here right now?
It just feels so good right now. We never would have thought it. Oh, shoot. I mean, it's just great for everyone. Everyone who's been in Connecticut. Before the game, Coach put the 5 seniors from last year, and he said, you guys have to rewrite history. And we just did it together this year. No superstars, just blue collar.
You're not including yourself, not a superstar.
No, we all work just as hard, and everyone should just get the same respect and play like a super senior tonight. And that's what kind of kids we got. We got just the best team.
Now, as far as taking care of Tennessee, I know the tempo was a concern. Were you able to do pretty much what you wanted to do tonight?
We just had to do what we were good at. That's rebound, play defense, and take care of the ball. And I think for the most part we did that.
So everybody's back next year. So you know the questions are going to start right away about the
Wait, so that was a back-to-back, right?
Yeah, that was.
Back-to-back. I was just making sure. Yeah, all right, I'm good. I'm happy.
You should be. Let's bring in Ann Strother right now. And we just heard from the veteran. And Ann, you played like a veteran tonight. Any nerves out there?
No, I mean, I just came out and kind of, you know, the crowd helped us a whole bunch. And you know, we had got Diana. And she just really, she's the most amazing leader you could ask for, and she just took control and made me feel like I need to come out and play. So
you hit a couple of big free throws down at the end. Congratulations, and a great performance.
Thank you.
You're a champion.
Thank you.
All right, let's take it back to Mike.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. Let's take a look at our Pontiac winning moment tonight. Who else would it be? Diana Taurasi, who finds a way. 17 points in the second half, 28 overall. She led 4 Connecticut players in double figures and led them to back-to-back national championships for the Connecticut Huskies. A remarkable year, a remarkable NCAA, and a remarkable final game